guys, James here today and welcome back to another Sims 4 Snowy Escape build video. That's right, this is one of the 3 lots that I built in the official Sims 4 expansion pack. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I actually worked on the new expansion pack in partnership with The Sims. I built 3 of the lots in the new world, along with Deligracy, Lil Simsy, and Simlacy. They also built 3 lots each. I built 3 lots, and the whole new world is just looking so fantastic. Today, we're going to be looking at the lounge that I built. And if you're still confused, go back and watch the first video I did on this. I explain a lot more about what this project is. Essentially, we built all the lots in the new world, and I go into more detail about the process and how that all worked. But today, we're going to be watching a speed build of the lounge that I built in the new world. So let's just go ahead and get started. This is a very early footage, by the way. This is many months ago. The world changed massively after this point, and we'll see the final product at the end of this. So now, something important to note is, and it's actually quite funny, they gave us a list of the lots that we were going to work on, each of us, and where they were in the world. And originally, there was a little bit of a mix-up, and this lot I built in the wrong spot, but that's fine, obviously, that was all fixed. But I was thinking, it's kind of weird, this lounge is in like a suburban area at the end of a path. Like, anyway, so if you're wondering why it's here, that's why. Now, we also got a lot of, especially this lounge, I wasn't really sure what to do, not only because I don't build lounges, but also because this style is something that I'm not entirely familiar with, but thankfully they actually gave us a lot of resources and inspiration and reference material to know what to build. And one of them was sort of an outdoor, sort of almost covered kind of garden space, or like a little courtyard area. It was a very nice thing to sort of incorporate. So that's what I'm trying to work on here. And one of the things that I was trying to do with this build as well is incorporate some symmetry into it. And so I could see how that would go. There's also some brand new build tools in this, which you'll see a little bit more of coming up soon. And I did show off in the first video on this, but we didn't really go into it too much. But we do have platforms that make all of this just so, like, I had so much fun. This is the build that I used the new platform tool in the most by far. And at first, I'm not really using it, but I do get into it a little bit more later. So I did spend a long time on this build, on the roof and all that, and playing around, as I wanted to make this different enough from the bar that's in the world as well. That's actually in the traditional neighborhood, whereas this is the contemporary area. So this is going to be a little bit different in nature anyway, but also because this lot is bigger and I have more to play around with, I really wanted to get it right. So I spent a lot of time playing around with the roof here, for example, and then changing it up. And each revision that this lot went through, it actually changed a lot. So like I said, this is originally in the wrong spot. So when I did end up moving it to the right spot in this, like the first revision, it didn't really line up with the world or the neighborhood. It was kind of off. So then I had to play around with it. And you'll see how this changes completely, even throughout this, this time lapse here. Now, I was really trying to play with this idea of the interior courtyard. So that's why we have like the half walls going across the top to create these sort of nice arches going around the area. And I wanted to use some more of the outdoor furniture, but it doesn't really make sense. I mean, a lot of the stuff at this point in time, again, this is super early stuff. So these are all really early assets. We don't actually have that many things yet. There's not even any there's not even many new windows or doors yet in this. So it's all just sort of a lot of base game stuff. And then I'm trying to use some of the new assets here and there as well. And keeping in mind, I'm planning out this lot knowing that there's going to be new items coming, because they did show us a lot of concept art of stuff that was going to be put into the game, windows and doors and all that stuff. So we kind of had an idea of what was going to be added in. But beyond that, it was kind of just like, just get started building and we'll change the lots as we go along. We'll replace things as we need to. And that's kind of what I was going with. So I kind of just had to play around. You might notice it's starting out very classic James Turner style, black and white here. That this does not end up looking like this at all. It completely changes. But I think in the end, you will see some aspects that are still the same. I mean, a lot of this is still very much similar at the end, but it changes so much. It's actually really fun and exciting to go back and look at this, because I haven't seen this since I built this, like this first version anyway, because since then it has changed so many times. There's a big change coming up soon that it's going to completely sort of revamp this lot, because at the moment it's kind of looking like 2 builds, little courtyard area. I think there's something that needs to be done to spice it up, you know? And the perfect way to do that is actually using the new platform tool. So I had this idea that I wanted, so I already had these sort of stepping stone-like pathway coming up the middle, but I had the idea that I actually wanted it to be more like big steps. So I used the platform tool, which you can see me using here, in its very early state. So it has actually changed a bit since I originally did this, but I used it in this state and I created these really large steps. They're basically a 2x2 block that goes up one step height each time. So Sims can actually just walk straight up that no problem, but it creates this really cool new, I guess, staircase in a way that sort of gradually goes up, and it means the whole lot is actually raised up on a platform, which is really, I don't know, I found it really interesting. I'm using the super tall walls, but the whole interior is actually up on a platform, so the whole space inside is almost like it's on a foundation, but it's not. And I think that was a really fun use of the platform tool. It also allowed me to design the interior in a different way. I was able to use different levels on the inside, especially when it came to the stage area where the piano and the microphone go. So I was just having a lot of fun with that. This is literally, I think, my first time really getting into the platform tool. The starter home that I built, I did a little bit of it on the roof and a little bit inside, but this lot I kind of just had fun with it. We also had the update that allows windows to be placed on the same tiles as doors. This was actually before that update came out, so we were using that feature as well in this world. So you'll see in all of our builds in this world, the platforms, the windows sort of overlapping with doors. I actually use it on this lot to create a larger sort of glass surround for the doors to make it, just feel a little bit more open. I guess a little bit more commercial in a way than just a residential lot. Make it, feel a bit more like a venue rather than a house anyway. So over this side is the bar where, you get your drinks or your juice. Sorry, you pick up your juice from the bar, you sit on the table. Anyway, this is the side with the sort of performance area where we'll have a nice platform or a stage, if you will, for a piano and the microphone and all that kind of stuff. And then over the other side is more of a chill zone. It's a little bit quieter and it's got the bathrooms over the other side. And we'll sort of see that all take shape soon. So originally this area actually changes a lot too. Again, we'll see in the final product, which I will show obviously very soon, how this changes. Originally, I had the counters here. These are actually brand new kitchen counters that are coming with the pack. They have open shelves, which is really nice, but in this case, it didn't make too much sense. So I actually flipped them backwards so you saw the back of it, the nice wooden front there. Got some bottles up on the wall to make it feel a little bit more like a commercial bar area. And I think that actually worked really well for that space. And then just got some bar stools here. I was just trying to use all the new stuff, honestly, get the new bar stools in there. Now, actually, something interesting in this is we were actually allowed to, and I was a little worried about this in these builds, we were allowed to use move objects, and I was worried that we wouldn't because I didn't think that in most of the pre-made homes in the other worlds, I don't think they even use move objects or anything like that, but we pretty much had free reign to kind of do whatever, which was super exciting. And so I did use move objects a lot in this build and also in my next one, but I obviously try to make sure that I wasn't going overboard with it and everything actually does work and function. But now we're in the other building, which is the bathroom and a quieter sitting area. And I was spending quite a bit of time figuring out how I wanted to have this all come together, because this building, like the other one, is actually raised up on a platform, which you can see here how much of a height that we actually have in here. And it's actually, it's super fun to play around with this. Originally, you can see in this build, I was just working with one level, and it's kind of interesting to, it was a bit of a challenge to even wrap my head around how I wanted to use this new tool. Right away with the stairs out front, it's originally just all raised on one sort of level. But then as I started getting a little bit more creative with it, I had a bit more fun with it. You can see on the other side, we had the lowered sort of platform area. On this side, we are experiencing some very early versions of the platform tool. It doesn't do that. This is very early on. This is months ago. So don't worry about that. But yeah, over here, I was sort of having, just right away, just not playing around with it too much. I was trying to keep it all flat, But that does change. I don't know if it changes in this first version, but in the final one, it very much does. And those sinks as well do not look like that in the final one. Again, super early. All this footage is very early on, like months ago, so don't worry about that. It all changes. Originally, I started off with a lot of toilets, which I don't know why. I don't even know why I did that, because not that many Sims use a toilet at the same time, so I did end up changing that, so that does change. So I was like, why? I kind of thought about it. I was like, why did I Why did I do that? I don't know. Anyway, so this bathroom I was trying to keep this place pretty classy actually, quite high end in a way. It was supposed to be very fancy, very proper, you know, very nice bathroom. It was the idea behind it. But I'm so much happier with the final product. This is not what it looks like in the slightest. It just changed so much. And I think it's really interesting me going back and seeing this. This was so long ago now. To see the change is quite incredible. We are coming near to the end of the time lapse now, but it's not near the end of the build. I don't have any more build footage than this, but a lot has changed since this. Trust me. We will jump into the game and we'll see the final version and I'll explain the differences and everything that changed and the process behind it. But this gives you a good overview of the initial build, what it initially looked like. And now let's go have a look at the final product. So here we are in the world. This is the world that you were gonna get in your game. This is the finished product of all of the lots. If you didn't see it, I did an overview video of that lot, so make sure to go check that out. And I also have a video on the rental lot coming soon as well, if that's not already out, but it will be linked down below. But today we're looking at the lounge, which is actually here, not over there. That's where I was building it. These two lots are actually mixed up, but the lounge is here, so we'll be able to see the surrounding area a little bit better. All right, so this is the finished product of the lounge, and I think you can already see it has changed a lot since that initial build. The roof has changed, the front has changed, the courtyard has changed, pretty much everything has changed. The placement of the lot has changed, there's way more landscaping. So the interesting thing with this, it was originally slated, they actually wanted to see something quite symmetrical for this. So I ended up doing that, and then they're like, no, actually, no, we don't like that, which is fair enough. It didn't look as good as it could, so it does have a feel of symmetry about it, but it's not symmetrical at all. If you look at it, everything is different on each side. It's not the same. It's not supposed to be the same. You can see this side is actually way smaller than this side. And it was actually quite interesting going back and working with this lot and changing the sizing of it. I really played around with all the rooms and messed around with them. And this is where the lot is actually situated, which makes way more sense. It's in this sort of town area, and we have this really nice frontage to it here as well. And I made sure that we had plenty of lighting at nighttime, so it's nice and lit up so you can see what's going on here as you walk up to the lot. As opposed to it was originally over there, which you can see my original confusion. I was like, it's an odd placement. But yeah, this is it. I did change up the stairs because they were originally the 2x2 in a straight line, just sort of offsetting them like this. It still gives the Sims plenty of room to walk up here, but I think it makes it way more interesting. And the garden has had a little bit of a change made to it as well, and I put way more effort into this area here. Around the back, I also added an entrance because I figured it might be useful instead of just being locked off at the back. If you wanted to enter from here, I figured that would be pretty handy. Around a lot of the windows, I was actually using these little decorative pieces because I thought it looked kind of cool. I mean, you can let me know if you think it looks cool too. I just thought it was kind of fun to play around with those. I figured without them, it actually kind of made it look really bland. But the problem was I didn't have a lot that I could do with these walls because the lot is very close to the edge of the boundary. So I didn't have a lot that I could play with. And it also meant that I'd have even less landscaping. So that was my solution to, making it look a little bit more interesting than just a big flat wall. Let's jump inside. Because that's what we want to see, how that's all changed. So over here, it's completely flipped. This used to be a way lighter color scheme. This whole bar area here has changed, but I think this looks so nice. It's like really dark and really like elegant looking in here. Really just fancy. I think it looks super nice. I still have that idea with the kitchen counters actually faced backward, because this is what they look like. They look like this. I flipped them around. I thought they had a really nice backing to them, so I had fun with that. The bar has actually moved. It's actually a bit smaller now because it fit a little bit better in this configuration. We actually still have the lowered area for the sofas down here, but then we have a step up to where the piano and the microphone are, so they are on their own little platform. And you'll see that I actually have a half wall running through here, because what that does, that actually stops Sims being able to walk across. Because originally, if I took out this half wall, a Sim could walk here and come across onto the platform, which we really don't want. So I actually put in this half wall here to prevent that. So this is purely a nice decorative little edging to the room. And it means that Sims going here will go down these stairs, come up these stairs, and go straight there instead. So I think that actually worked really well. Over the other side, we have this nice just sitting area, and we got the new commercial wall speaker in here as well, so it'll play the music that suits. So this area is really just a nice little sitting space. And this was actually a room or a little space left over so you could have like a wedding or set up something in here if you wanted to. It's kind of just extra space for you guys to do what you want with it. And then the bathroom. Oh, I love this bathroom. This changed a lot. I don't know if you guys remember the bathroom that we saw before. Yeah, this has changed a lot. I'm so proud of this. So we're using these new windows here, which I've actually overlaid 2 of them to create like a whole wall. So it's still got a nice privacy screen, but I overlap them like that. And you come into the bathroom on a lower platform, you step up. Let's just put the walls down a little bit here. You step up to where the sinks are. We even have these little planters hiding behind here on the half wall. That's actually just sitting in this little area there, which I think looks so good. Sinks hanging out there. We do have some big windows here into the bathroom, but I figured it would be okay because, you know, the actual toilets themselves are in their own rooms. We have way less toilets than the like 6 that we had before, so that makes way more sense. And I think I'm so happy with this. I think this came out so well, especially because the first iteration was just it was so bad. It was not great. Yeah, I'm really proud of this lot. The way this turned out, from how the original concept of this lot was. And the funny thing was, when it was built on the other lot, like I said, I actually had to adjust this. Now, you'll either, I don't know, it may drive you nuts that this isn't symmetrical, even though it looks like it is, but I think that is kind of the fun thing about this lot, is that it does look symmetrical, but it's not. It's not even centered on the lot. Like, this is further from this side than this one is. This is right on the edge. And the reason, I mean, I probably wouldn't have done that if I didn't have to move the entire lot. But the reason I did that is because it makes a little bit more sense having it more centered to this space here rather than the whole lot itself. Because you can see the lot itself actually just goes to the edge of this, but it goes further out this side. So I think it looks nicer, this lot lining more up with this area than it being perfectly symmetrical. Also, it's just way more interesting. But please let me know in the comments down below what you think of the lounge. I think it turned out great. I'm really, really happy with this. I don't think they made any changes. There was no items that had to be removed in the end. Some of the lots in the world, they went back and made a few changes here and there, and we'll see some of those in the rental lot as well that I built. But that's it for the lounge. Make sure to check it out in game. And if you want to bulldoze it, I will be a little bit sad, but I will understand, because you might want to build your own thing here. That's fair enough. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And I can't believe this is actually in the game. Right now, it still seems like it's only in my game, but it's going to be in all of your games. And it's so exciting. It really, really is. But make sure to check out the other videos in this series, the overview of the starter home and the overview of the rental lot. And make sure to check out the others that also built in this world, Deligracy, Seamlessly, and Lil Simsy, all built lots in this world as well. So make sure to check out their channels for their content too. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.